ancestors, and to all of you, we give thanks at this moment. And we thank God for this blessing. I believe God even sent this rain to run y'all in this building. Out from outside. But this is a good thing, because our ancestors didn't miss praise meeting because it was raining. That's right. They got up in that praise house and they got that shout going. Just like this. And they kept on going. And somebody's going to leave the plantation. I know what the devil is going to say in the choir. Into the bush. And into the wilderness, my God. The wilderness. Because the timbermen are shouts so my God. So they shall stop. Over everyone. Over in his spirit. Over in their ancestry. So the seed may cover you in that song of freedom. But then, when they're out of the dog of them come, and the purple come, it tells you, but don't make that sound. In 1739, the Stoner Rebellion took place. And in Gullah man named Cato, that they called Jerry, on a plantation outside of Ravenel, Hollywood, South Carolina. This Angolan man heard about Gracia Real de Santa Teresa de Mose, which is in St. Augustine today, called Fort Mose. Y'all Gullah Geechee children call them Fort Moors. Y'all like that Moors. Fort Mose is what the Spaniards called it. And so when he was leaving what the British had renamed as Carolina, after Princess Caroline, when the indigenous peoples here called it Chicora, he was going to where he belonged, a free place. He was going back to villages with his people. They said that they needed him to convert to Catholicism. Then you'd be given freedom. You'd be manumissed and given arms and land. All of the issues of freedom are attached to land. Because when you have land, you have freedom. You can grow what you need to if God bless you to do so. You can build what you need if you take down a tree and make the house out of the tree wood that you build. You can make a bateau boat out of some more of that wood off that tree and then go out of the creek there and get some for Nampon and bring them in, if God has blessed you to do so. As you see on our national flag of the Gullah Geechee Nation, it says, "We be Gullah Geechee anointed people." Because we know Cato and those would not have heard the call if it wasn't the same God that we call on now that was calling into his ears and said, "Boy, get out of there." And when he left, he didn't leave alone. He didn't hear it and then don't tell nobody. See, when it's something bad, y'all tell everybody. Y'all text it to them, you email it to them, you call them on both your cell phones. But when it's something positive, somehow nobody know we was having it. We didn't know what was going on. If I didn't know, I would have been there. All right? Our ancestors just dealt with the same things. Not everybody would run away from a plantation. Not everyone would live as a maroon. Because for some people that was too hard. It's easier, yeah. Master might beat me every now and then, but at least I get grits every day. So we had left freedom up to those people, there would be no freedom. There would not be what Cato said, liberty, liberty, liberty. That wouldn't be here. That sound, that clarion call is what people heard along the coast. And then some of them stopped off because running was a little too much work. Those who stopped to rest got caught. Some were hung in front of others to prove that you should never try this again. Many got away and made it to Fort Mose. These are who we celebrate this day. And this is the first time in the history of America that Gullah Geechee Seminole Maroons, which is all part of the same Gullah Geechee diaspora, has reunited in Florida. And we came there this time because we choose for come just like Cato and them did before. So, we are proud and thankful. Because when we said the word maroon, many people didn't understand. When you said Seminole, you say maroon. These were deductions. I'm a mathematician. They were the taking apart from Cimarron, which was a Spanish word. Seminole the front, Maroon the back. Always meaning wild or exile, meaning uncontrollable. Unconquerable. In today's language, as a computer program, I might say unprogrammable. So here we are now, as we each sit here, can speak on behalf of maroonage in a different way. And so I'm going to ask that Sister Audrey Pterman, who is from Earthwise Productions, one of our sponsors for this event, to begin, because this your gal from backyard. And since she's family, they wouldn't give she family the B-side thing for come over from Jamaica to get here today. And they're celebrating with we over there because they won't let them get on the plane for come here. We want she to talk a little bit about the Jamaican Maroon and why it's so important when you talk about maroonage there and maroonage here. What is in common as well as what you might see is different. There you go. Sister Audrey Pterman.
Thank you so much, Queen Quet. I am always in awe of your passion, your brilliance, and your leadership. I really believe that with 10 more like you, we could move the world. But I'm particularly pleased also because, as a Jamaican, I know that I come from a rich heritage, because the Maroons in Jamaica were the people who enslavement was just intolerable for them. And we're moving away from the whole language of the slave this and the slave that and the slave that. And actually this is under Queen Quet's leadership many years ago, where she asked even the federal government to rethink how they categorize the enslaved people. Because nobody is born a slave. We are all born human beings with the gift of God within us. And then we are made into, we're enslaved. So it's really important for us to redo and revisit that terminology of the slave versus the enslaved people. As I said, in Jamaica, the people who felt that freedom was their birthright fled to the hills and relatively inhospitable territory and waged war against the British. I mean, so much so, they were so unconquerable. So, obviously we'll have more time to talk about that later, but I just wanted to say that the legacy of the Seminoles, the Maroons, the Gullah Geechee people, is the legacy of a people who refuse to be conquered, in whom the flame of God and of freedom burned so brightly that they could not accommodate being anybody's slave. And it is that conviction that we need as Americans today, and as people from the diaspora, to rise up and take our rightful places in America and in the world. Because truly, as Queen Quet said earlier, what the devil meant, and I don't generally talk about the devil, but what was meant for our destruction has in fact been turned around to be the salvation of the world. And I thank you.